What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the Friday weekly market watch, but we're recording this on Thursday night. I'm here with Zach Stone, who doesn't have his camera on right now because he's busy playtesting for the LCQ tomorrow. Zach, how do you feel?
Tired because I've had a great long day. I went to the Quests in a Park event that was organized by the Rebecca Quests. If you guys don't know her, give her a big, nice shout out and follow on her Instagram. But yeah, it was an awesome day. Yeah, right after that, I just got my cards and hopped on over to for a ride to my friend's house, and we just been playtesting all night. So I'm over here. I'm using their stuff, and fortunately, their camera is just not working at the moment.
Hmm.
So we're working with what we got.
So, for those who don't know, the last chance qualifier for the Lorcana North American Continentals is tomorrow. Zach and a lot of my friends, a lot of people are playing in that event. If you go 5-0, you get to play in the main event. I'm playing in the main event already because I earned an invite at the other events, like I've said it before. Zach, I know you can do it. You can go 5-0 tomorrow. I believe in you. But my fellow Lorcana Goons, please drop in the comments below a little bit of your support for Zach Stone tomorrow and all the other Lorcana Goons that are playing the LCQ. Are you nervous?
Not nervous. I'm just trying to really decide on what is better between a couple lists between the colors that I'm playing tomorrow. So I'm hoping we all can get in there. All the goons involved, all the people I've been testing with. I believe that most of us are going to do well. And unfortunately, there's just a world where like people can be paired in the same pods, and that's uncontrollable, right? But
Hmm.
what is controllable is how much you spend on some of these cards that we're going to be talking about today. And the first thing we got is the first chapter booster box,
Hmm.
sitting at a
Hmm.
lovely $350, right? We got a couple boxes on there, 4 boxes from the next seller card crack. Shout outs to you. So there's a lot of opportunities to pick up these boxes. Oop, we got the Chinese version. Kevin, are you thinking about getting any Chinese cards?
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about getting a Chinese first chapter box. Somebody did ask in the comments if you can use these at your local game store for league events for set champs, and you can. You can open up a box of Chinese Lorcana and use those cards in your deck legally. So if you want to crack a first chapter box, 62.99 is what you want is what you can pay for a Chinese version. If you want a Chinese Elsa or a Chinese Rapunzel, I've been hearing that the rates are around the same in terms of like the pull rates and stuff like that. So if you've been hankering to crack some first chapter, but you don't want to spend $350 on the first chapter packs, consider Chinese first chapter maybe. But if you do want the English packs, you are gonna have to pay a little bit more for those, around 350, like Zach was saying. There's some other cards I want to go over before we start off with the meta. Some enchanted rares that I've been looking at, like the Cinderella, the Ballroom Sensation, kind of climbing up in price in these last couple of weeks as the beginning of January starts off. And end of December, November, they were selling for around 275. Right now, the lowest verified is now 300 by Uncomfy Shorts. So shout out you, lowest verified 300. Then it goes to 308, then 315. So it's a $300 enchanted rare, I think, for Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. One of my favorite enchanted. This is like this is up there with Elsa, in my opinion. It's nothing too fancy, but it's still Cinderella, right? I like that one a lot. Zach, you pointed this one out to me. The Mirabelle Madrigala promo is finally going up in price. Check this out. These were selling for around $25 to $30, and today the lowest verified is $55. Wow. Love to see that. Most recent sale is $38, $60, $55. But yeah, as you can see here, you're gonna have to pay $50+ if you want to buy it right now. What do you think of that?
Those that kind of had a bunch of Mirabelles. I personally never thought that this card was like going to see play, but I've heard some conversation of it being tried out in a couple different lists. I think the Emerald Amber, more like mid-range aggro deck is seeing like a couple copies of this being played. It is inkable. 5 drop for 5/5 with 5 lore seems pretty devastating. And you close out a lot of games since you have like cards like Gogo Tamago in your deck. And another Amber card that I think is deserving of its price is the Rapunzel Gifted with Healing, sitting at a $48 plus $1 shipping. Legends Collectibles has you for at 4 copies there. But yeah, this is approaching a $50 card. And Kevin, remember when this card was like $36 and we said this is
Uh,
cheap, buy it now.
Yeah. No, yeah, we said this earlier in the month. As you can see here, it did hit as low as $36 and towards like Christmas Eve time. And this happened last year too. And it's already back at $50. Lowest verified $50. Johnny T's Corner with some extra shipping, $52 by Galactic Games Guild. So you're paying more than $50 for your non-foil Rapunzels. If you're playing an Amber Steel deck, you probably want to play Rapunzel in your deck. You can get a cold foil from a non-verified seller for $60, which is really good because the lowest verified is 72.94, shipping included. So there are some sellers that have a little bit of a discount right here if you want to get a deal on a cold foil Rapunzel, maybe not too bad. Let's check out these Maui Half Sharks, Zach, because this card is still very popular, one of the most important cards in the format and probably the chase in Azurite Sea outside of any enchanted rares, right? Lowest verified is $35, $36 with a dollar shipping after that by Ninja Cat Card Shop, but Elite GameSpot is the lowest verified at around $36 for your Maui Half Sharks. The cold foils selling for what? $42. Okay, these are coming down in price a little bit. Lowest non-verified 42, but then it jumps to 46.25 with a dollar 25 shipping. So just a little bit before it hits $50 for your cold foil Maui Sharks. I think this card's great. I do think that the only deck that plays this is red blue though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, some of us are experimenting this in red purple. Like there's an option to play in the burn strategy to just add a bunch of burn actions. But this card is just a huge, huge, huge card in the format. People are building their decks against and around this card. You have to include cards that out this card. And if you're not, you're going to have a difficult time against red blue, which is arguably people say best deck in format. Again, there's a difference of opinion on that one. Let us know in the comments what you think is the best deck in this format. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think red blue is up there, man. And not only that, this card is a big, big reason why. I love the fact that you're just able to add back a lot of your one of utility cards. You're able to kind of like stop the lore pressure with Pirate's Life. It basically tells your opponents that they can't quest unless they're able to remove their own characters off the board, right?
Yeah, because if they do quest, like even if you do end up trading into that Maui Shark, you probably get a value trade. You might 2 for 1, kill 2 characters with just one of the Maui Half Sharks. But and every time you challenge, you get that extra action, and that could be detrimental. Sometimes blue red is heavily relying on that extra how far will go that's in their discard pile. Maybe you're gonna give them an extra vision to the future, which will help them find any card they might be looking for. So when you see a Maui Half Shark staring down at you, be patient. Make sure you have outs to it in your deck. If you're playing cards like Dragonfire, Be Prepared, Tremaine, just wait until you draw into them. Play a rabbit, bounce the rabbit back. You can slow the game down a little bit, but that is what Maui Half Shark does. It slows the game down for a deck like Ruby Sapphire, which basically wants to be able to get into that late game as much as possible. But another card, sorry, that's in Ruby Sapphire that is very popular is the Sisu Empowered Sibling. Look at this, dude, shooting up to almost $25 now this week. Lowest verified is 23.24 with a dollar 25 shipping by cards on deck TCG. Then it goes to 24.49 shipping included by EBB Trade. So that's around $25 shipping included for your Sisu Empowered Sibling. And Zach, you were right when you said this was going to be a meta defining card 2 formats ago. Oh my gosh, look at this. This cold foil, a Sea Villainous has the cold foil for the same price as the non-foil. That's outrageous. Actually, all of these people have the price. There's some deals right there, my goons. Check that out. $25 for a cold foil Sisu today from the note from the lowest verified, and the non-foil is also $25. That's crazy. That's crazy, Zach.
Yeah, Crazy Zach is definitely over here being crazy because this card is just the same price as the foil. But remember, goons, my enchanted goons out there, this is the highest absolute rarity in this card, and that is always a good reason to consider. What you kind of spend your money on cold foil wise. But I do kind of want to point out that the NA Continentals is this weekend, and a lot of prices will go up due for demand of cards needed for that weekend. And another card needed in a lot of decks is the Genie Wish Fulfilled, sitting at a lovely 16.39. You can get one copy from Nana's Card Store, and we got a few sellers selling at that price. But you have to get them from different sellers before you get down to cards that has 8 copies with you, with about just a dollar shipping on top. You end up paying less than 17 per card if you end up getting more than one. But I like where this card is in price. it should still stay around $20. But yeah, when prices of that card went above 20, I was in shock. And then the cold foils, I think, are still at around $30 right now, and I love to see it. Right, that's a double in price in comparison to what we saw the big Sisu at, and that's a good indicator for a healthy price point, right, Kevin?
Oh yeah, I agree. Even just comparing this price point to the Sisu price point, a $30 rare and a $25 legendary, that Sisu's kind of a steal in my opinion. So, I definitely want to compare those two. Genie is just dominating the format, dude. Like, if you're playing purple, you're playing Genie. Most people are playing a purple deck. I want to say maybe like 70% of the room tomorrow for you, Zach, is going to be some type of purple variant, whether it be purple steel, purple green, purple red. You're gonna see this card tomorrow. It's almost guaranteed that you're gonna run into this card tomorrow and Saturday. For both of us, because you're gonna make it, Zaxton. I believe in you. You're gonna be in the main event to me. I know a couple goons are gonna be up in there, up in the Continentals room. Talk about Maleficent Dragon, the Maleficent Monsters Dragon. This card was kind of coming down in price a lot, actually. I saw it as low as $15 today. Lowest verified is kind of climbing back up slightly. 1949 is the verified lowest by Battleground Games. So you're getting close to that $20 mark again. If you're able to get these around Christmas time for $15, that was a steal. That was pretty good. But now they're going to be $20 again, and I get the feeling this card's going to be pretty relevant. Towards the end of this Azurite C meta, and more than just red, blue, ruby, sapphire. So, cold foils are still $80, not too shabby. If you've been collecting cold foils, 79 by Spellbone Texas, shipping included. And then one hit KO games, they have four of them for you. They have it for $90, which is the next verified. So from $80 to $90 are the verified cold foils, and this person has four of them. So if you want to for a playset of your shiny dragons, you get them all from that one seller, save some money. Baymax Armored Companion. We need to talk about this card apparently, because it did come down to as low as $6, and now we're starting to see it at $10 again. SoCal Shop has them for 10, 19 shipping included. They have 10 of them for you ready to go. The Baymax Armored Companion, pretty cool. Not too bad. Not too bad. A cold foil for the Baymax sells for 17.94, a little bit less than $20 for a cold foil Armored Companion. But I do want to note that that is not the highest rarity for this card. We're gonna be able to acquire this card as a non-foil promo at this weekend's Continental event. And Zach, when both of us make it to the World Tournament, you and I are gonna have a foil version of this promo, right?
Yeah, I pretty much love the fact that this card has an enchanted artwork, right? Baymax was an awesome character to watch when I watched the Big Hero 6 movie not too long ago. And for those goons that don't know, Kevin is a big Hero 6 fan. So make sure to show him some support there for all you
Yep.
fans, and let us know definitely what your favorite Lorcana card is, or what your favorite movie is from any of these cards we're watching. But the Doc Bold Knight, oh, this is a card I wanted to talk about for sure. It is sitting at a lovely 849 by Astral Trader, who's got 8 of them for you. Don't be surprised if you're going to have to be picking these up for closer to $10 in your local game stores. I don't even have any of these in my inventory personally at the booth at Frankenson's Collectible Show. If you are in need of cards there, we do have helpers there helping you with all your inventory needs. And if you need to get rid of some Lorcana and you can't make it to the event over there, definitely stop on by. But Kevin, let's talk about Doc. I know you did well at an event with Purple Steel, and you played this card four copies in their deck list.
I did. I played 4 copies of this doc in my Purple Steel list. If you want to see that deck list, I just dropped a video right now going over a meta tier list, and I talked about Purple Steel aggro. Yeah, this card is so good. It says draw 2 cards, right? So I played 4 of them, and it's that important. We've seen people play 4 of this card in Amber Steel locations, or like the Diggy Diggy Hole deck, as people call it. And I do think that in a lot of these Steel aggro decks, Doc is the bread and butter. Being able to draw 2 cards off Doc, set up a new turn, play another dock the following turn after that. Now, when you're playing purple, you get to draw into more draw cards like Genie, Friends on the other side, etc. And so it's no surprise why this card is almost $9. And just like you said, Zach, I wouldn't be surprised if this hits $10 because you're starting to see this in mid-range decks too. People are playing this in Emerald Steel, so you can have an extra draw engine in Emerald Steel outside of just Diablo. And Purple Steel mid-range too, even Amber Steel mid-range deck. So it's a very good card, very good card. Don't sleep on it, especially in combination with the Seven Doors Mine. Very cool too. Speaking of Amber Steel, Daisy Duck, lowest verified today, sitting at 726, going up in price again just a little bit. Look at these. These were as cheap as $3, less than $5. And we talked about this. I mentioned this in the Market Watch. I said, get your daisies now before they go up in price because they were like $4. Today, 726 lowest verified by Hobby Overflow. Shout out you guys. Cold foils are going to be $12. Oh, it's still pretty cheap compared to what they used to be, so I like that price. Do you have any foil daisies?
For those goons that don't know, my cards are always foil. If I have to play with a normal, I will, but I don't like to. So yeah, I have my foil daisies. I've been playing with them for quite a while. You know, I have to say that I will sell a card when, like, let's for example say Daisy was, back when it was like three something. I would sell a card for $5 when it had prices around three something with some shipping involved, and people were willing to pay. They understand, right? But I always tell people, I'm like, this card is too cheap for $5. I always said that this is too cheap. Like, you find it for everything cheaper from $5, you just buy them. You don't even think about it. I would pay about like $4 or $3 at the time to get them. Same thing with Bell Accomplished Mystic. I thought this card was always too cheap, and now we're seeing copies go for about $5 when it used to be about $1. And look at this, guys. This is probably the biggest penny stock that we've seen happen in quite a while, next to the Doc Bold Knight, right?
Oh yeah, dude, this card was literal cents. This card was like 50 cents. Now they're $5 each. So if you had a bunch of these in your bulk, you're making some money. Very cool to see. Omega Gaming, lowest verified today for 481 with some extra shipping. Cold foils for the Bell Accomplished Mystic are sitting at around $17. They were selling for 20 bucks and they've calmed down since then a little bit, but you're still going to pay more than 15. 1625 by Georgie Rips for a cold foil Bell Accomplished Mystic. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, the non-enchanted rare is back at $5. It kind of came down in price, but since December, been going up from $3 to $4. 422. Lowest verified by Nostalgia Daily with $1.27 shipping for your Cinderella Ballroom Sensations. Along came Zeus. I feel like is starting to go up in price a little bit. This card is so good. If you want to kill genies, if you want to get rid of Maui Half Sharks, Plutos, Zeus is your card. Very lovely, very strong card. SoCal Shop. 397 with $1.27 shipping. Lowest verified. Some non-verified sellers have it for around $3 with some extra shipping. So it's still really cheap right now. I want to say get them right now while you can, because I don't think Genie's gonna go anywhere next format either. I think Genie's gonna be pretty relevant once the new set comes out. 725 for our cold foils by Spellbound TX. Really cheap. Wow, that's really cheap. 725 for a cold foil, what feels like a staple in steel decks right now. You know what's not cheap though? Chernobog followers. Chernobog's followers being used in every purple deck. I kind of talked about this on Monday, but I want to elaborate more. I want to get Zach's opinion on this. Look at this, Zach. Lowest verified 297 with $1.27 shipping. Then it goes to 350 with extra shipping, 375, then 420. 420 with $1.20 shipping. We have some non-verified sellers, but it's still $3 plus an extra dollar shipping. This is like a $4 to $5 uncommon, right? Or how much are you selling it for?
Yeah, I don't have any more copies, but I had to be charging it around $5. There's two reasons why I feel this way. One, these cards are just I'm not finding anymore in bulk. I'm not being able to get these for cheap anymore, and even paying dollars on them is a little too cheap, right? $2 to $3 was about what I was taking them in, and buying cash and trade value, and I will not hang on to playset for more than a week, right? And things like this, and the consideration I like to always have with cards is that, like, the demand is like higher than, like, what an average price is, because prices here will go from like three as the lowest all the way to the bottom of closer to five. I gotta just take at value and understand that, like, this card will sell
Mhm.
until it hits that stagnant price, and that's just like how markets go, right? You're more the cold foils are closer to like $8, right? We had $6.99 plus $1 shipping by Izzy's Comics for your lowest verified, and a lot of them even go up to $10 plus shipping. So it is just hard to find these cards, hard to hang on to these cards.
Mhm.
With all that being said, I really think that this is still one of the best one drops in the game right now,
Oh yeah.
and honestly, like, for it to be an uncommon, I think it's like as on par as something like Mr. Smee, or as we saw during the first chapter, Flynn Rider, the Charming Rogue. I mean, those are good times, guys. Good times. Leave a comment if how long you or when you got into the game. We'd love to know.
Tipo, Pete, by the way, those are all very strong uncommon cards that tend to have that similar impact in the meta and in the market. Gontu, let's talk about Gontu, the Captain Cranky Head. Lowest verified is going to be now $1 with extra shipping, 127, but then it jumps to 150, then $2. Zach Stone, these are going up a little bit, little by little. These are for sure more than $1 now. I would say these are $2 cards. What do you think?
Personally, yeah, that's about as low as I would go. I would pay $1 on those. So if you guys think it's worth $1, sell me all the copies you would love to sell at $1. But
Yeah,
the
it's a crazy
you know,
card. I think this
all
card's
jokes aside, the cold foil sitting at $6 is a great thing to see, and it kind of also justifies why I think this card will go up to about $3 $4 potentially, right?
Mhm. I'm glad you said that. I bought a gang of Gontus like a couple weeks ago, and I've just had like stacks. I bought them for like 50 cents each because no one's really playing them. But I think they're playable alongside Diablo, Obedient, or Raven. These are also cards that I buy in for like $1, and because we're gonna have to start getting rid of them at $2 each, man. The demand is there. The 127 with $1.27 shipping, lowest verified by Booster Bay, TCG, and then they're all at least $1.20, $1.50 even with extra shipping. So you're going to be paying more than $1 for your Diablo Obedient Ravens no matter what. I don't think most sellers are going to have it for any cheaper than that. Cold foils are sitting at $8 today by Hobby Overflow for our lowest verified. So $8 for a cold foil, uncommon, not too bad in my opinion. Speaking of good uncommons, Befuddle. Very relevant this format, and since the first chapter is still an expensive uncommon as well, they're about $1 with $1.27 shipping each. So also almost a $2 uncommon. And if you have the pre-erratas, those also sell for a little bit more. So if you didn't know, there's this card has an errata, as you can see here in this little highlighted part chosen, right? Cold foils are pretty cheap in my opinion. $2 with $1.27 shipping by Level Up Games. Rosenbear, $2.37, and then one TCG Games, $3 with extra shipping. So still a little bit less than $4 to $5 for a cold foil befuddle. Cold foil popsicles, these are going up little by little this month, getting very close to $6 now. $5.49 shipping included by Empire Game Censor. I think that's really cheap, guys. I think we just kind of mentioned briefly how red blue might be the best deck of the format, if not one of the most best decks of the format. And Popsicle is like the main engine for Ruby Sapphire. So the fact that the cold foil engine is only $5, I think is really cheap. What about you?
Yeah, like $7 I think was about close to it's like peak, like more recently, but every time this card I think gets below 5, it goes back up to 5, right? I think I've seen this like happen like multiple times. And this is just a card that will always be played in Ruby Sapphire, and as long as Hiram, nothing happens to Hiram, this card is definitely going to be included in that deck, right? I think it's just too good not to be able to have a one drop item that just replaces itself with another card, being able to be fodder for two more cards later, and just to having the cycle ability with Tematoa, finding more of these items and gaining that extra lore with every item in play. An amazing card for Sapphire. Completely opened up Ruby Sapphire the moment this card was released.
Yeah, it's just a free card, and like it literally has two effects too. Just a random effect to heal, which is also very relevant in the meta too. For the popsicle. But so before we call it a day, Zach and I did notice that the booster boxes for set 7, Arcasia's Island, is already available for pre-order on TCG Player, and we just gotta warn you guys, per usual, don't get the pre-orders for the booster boxes. Unlike other TCGs, you don't need to buy pre-orders for Lorcana. They usually hit below MSRP if you want the booster boxes available the week of, So for the most part, this 133 price point, you're gonna see it at around $100, maybe 110 the weekend of. So I don't think there's really a need to make these pre-orders for the booster boxes, and for the most part, it takes a while for them to ship to your doorstep anyway. But yeah, set 7 coming out on March 22nd, very close, right around the corner. But we have a lot more to get done before then. We're still barely in January. Set Champs is this month, so be sure to check out our recent video on the meta tier list so you can see what decks to expect at your tournaments, or maybe some decks you can take to your tournaments. Zach, you got to watch that video so you can know how to prepare for tomorrow's event, because you got to go 5-0 so we can play in the main event together. I know you can do it, my Lorcana Goon. We're all giving you our energy. How are you feeling going into tomorrow?
I'm just gonna have to take it one game at a time, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to really, really, dig down and understand that like the game has to be played with a winner and a loser, and you have to win them all in order to get qualify. And this will be the hardest locals I played in a while, guys. But for all that it's worth, we would love that if you come reach out and say hi to us. I know by the time this video releases, my LCQ fate will already be decided, but we know you guys are in here in spirit, and for all of you goons that have been here for the longest ride, thank you. And also thank you guys again to all the Quest in the Park guys. You guys know who you are, and thank you so much for the support. Kevin, we missed you. We wish you were there to attend. Is there anything you'd like to say before we're gonna end this?
No, I just had to get the testing in. I'm playing on Saturday in the main event. It's the biggest tournament that I've ever played in my TCG career so far. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. I'm honored. This is the weekend,. It's all I mean, I know you got your thing tomorrow, but I'm hyping myself up too for Saturday, and yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I just got I by the time we come back on Monday, the next Monday market watch. We will know who the North American Continental Champion is. We'll know who's going to Worlds, and we'll know how well I did, right? So I can't wait till then. Until then, be sure to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. Hopefully, the next time you tune in to Lorcana Goons, you'll see us with some golden Mickeys or something. But until then, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, my Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you Goons next time.